Imagine waking up each day trapped in a fog of negative thoughts, where every decision feels heavy, every outcome bleak, and every possibility overshadowed by doubt. It's like carrying an invisible weight, one that grows heavier with every passing moment. Have you ever wondered if it's possible to break free from this cycle? To step out of the haze and into a life of clarity and purpose? This is where Stoic philosophy offers a guiding light. At its core, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. As Epictetus wisely said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." By changing the way we perceive challenges, we can fundamentally transform how we respond to them. In this article, we will delve into actionable strategies inspired by Stoic teachings that can help you rewire negative thinking and regain control over your mindset. Together, we'll explore practical exercises, timeless wisdom, and transformative principles to shift your perspective and create lasting change. Are you ready to take the first step toward mastering your thoughts and ultimately your life? Let's begin. 1. The power of recognizing and challenging negative thoughts. Meet Emma, a driven young professional who had set her heart on landing her dream job at a prestigious company. For weeks, she prepared rigorously, researching the company, perfecting her resume, and rehearsing her interview answers. Yet, when the email came, it was not the congratulatory message she had hoped for. Instead, it was a polite rejection. Emma felt crushed, replaying the scenario over and over in her mind. "I'm not good enough," she thought. "Why did I even try?" Each thought pulled her deeper into a spiral of self-doubt, making her question her worth and abilities. Does this sound familiar? Have you ever faced a similar moment of defeat and felt overwhelmed by negative thoughts? Stoicism provides a transformative lens to navigate such experiences. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's most celebrated philosophers, famously said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This wisdom reminds us that external events, like Emma's rejection, are not inherently harmful or discouraging. Instead, it is our interpretation of these events that determines their impact. Emma's belief that the rejection defined her worth is what caused her distress, not the rejection itself. Recognizing and challenging negative thoughts is a skill that can change the trajectory of our lives. But how do we begin? The first step is awareness. Just as you cannot clean a room without first identifying the mess, you cannot rewire your thinking without recognizing negative patterns. A practical way to start is by journaling. Spend a few minutes each day writing down your thoughts, particularly those that surface during moments of frustration or self-doubt. For Emma, this might mean noting her initial reactions to the rejection email. "I'm a failure. I'll never succeed." This exercise creates a safe space to observe your thoughts without judgment, turning the abstract into something tangible and manageable. Once you've identified these thoughts, the next step is to challenge them. This is where the power of questions comes into play. Ask yourself, is this thought absolutely true? Or, what evidence do I have to support or refute this belief? In Emma's case, is she truly a failure? What about all the other challenges she has overcome? What skills and strengths does she bring to the table? By questioning the validity of your negative thoughts, you create room for more balanced and constructive perspectives. Let's try a simple exercise right now. Think of a recent situation that triggered negative thinking for you. Perhaps it was a mistake at work, an argument with a loved one, or a missed opportunity. Now write down the thoughts that arose. Then ask yourself, is this thought helping me or holding me back? What would I say to a friend who felt this way? Notice how this process shifts your focus from self-criticism to self-compassion. Challenging negative thoughts is not about ignoring reality or sugarcoating difficulties. It's about reframing your mindset to see the full picture. For Emma, rejection could be seen not as a failure, but as a stepping stone, a chance to refine her skills, learn from the experience, and find an opportunity that aligns better with her strengths. How might your perspective change if you looked at setbacks as setups for growth? Taking control of your inner dialogue is empowering. It's a reminder that while you may not have control over external events, you always have control over how you respond. As you practice recognizing and challenging negative thoughts, you may notice a newfound clarity and resilience in facing life's challenges. Imagine the possibilities if you no longer let fear or self-doubt dictate your actions. Before we move on, here's a challenge for you. Commit to spending just 5 minutes tonight journaling about a recent negative thought. Write it down, examine its roots, and ask yourself whether it truly serves you. Then, share your experience in the comments below. Did this exercise help you see things differently? Let's build a supportive community where we can learn from each other's insights and victories. Remember, the mind is like a garden. If left unchecked, weeds of negativity can overrun it. But with intentional care, through awareness, reflection, and reframing, you can cultivate a mindset that fosters growth, resilience, and peace. Are you ready to take that first step? Let's begin by challenging one thought at a time. 2. Letting go of the past and future. Living in the present moment. As we continue the journey of rewiring negative thinking, the importance of living in the present moment becomes undeniable. Often, our struggles with negativity are not rooted in the present, but in our regrets over the past or fears about the future. Learning to let go of these time-bound worries can transform the way we experience life, offering freedom and clarity. Consider the story of Daniel, a successful entrepreneur who spends his days consumed by fears of losing clients or failing to meet future expectations. Instead of celebrating his accomplishments, Daniel finds himself trapped in hypothetical scenarios. What if this deal doesn't close? What if my competitors take over my market? These thoughts amplify his anxiety and prevent him from appreciating his present successes. Many of us can relate to Daniel's struggle. How often do we miss the beauty of the moment because we are preoccupied with past mistakes or uncertain futures? The wisdom of the Stoics offers a way forward. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, teaches, "The past is unchangeable, and the future is out of our control. We only have the present." This truth highlights the futility of worrying about things we cannot alter or predict. Instead, Stoicism encourages us to practice amor fati, the love of fate. Amor fati asks us to embrace life as it unfolds, even in its challenges, and to see every moment as necessary and meaningful. Imagine approaching your circumstances, no matter how difficult, and saying, "This is part of my journey. I will accept it, learn from it, and grow." This mindset doesn't deny the reality of hardships, but reframes them as opportunities for growth and resilience. Translating this philosophy into daily practice begins with small, intentional actions. One powerful method is mindful breathing. Taking a moment to focus on your breath can anchor you in the present and quiet your mind. Sit in a comfortable position, close your eyes, and inhale slowly, noticing the sensation of air entering your nose and filling your lungs. Then exhale gently. If your mind starts to wander to regrets or worries, gently guide it back to your breath. This simple exercise fosters a sense of presence and calm, even in chaotic circumstances. When was the last time you paused to truly experience a moment without distraction? Try this now. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. Notice how it feels to slow down and reconnect with the present. Another practical approach is creating a "what I can control today" list. Each morning, write down 3 things within your power to act on. For someone like Daniel, this might include following up with a valued client, organizing his workspace for better productivity, or taking a short walk to clear his mind. Shifting focus to actionable tasks helps redirect energy from unproductive worries to meaningful actions. What could you include on your list tomorrow? Think about it. What small steps could you take today to make a difference? Share your ideas in the comments. Your experience might inspire others. Imagine if Daniel could sit down with Seneca to discuss his worries. Daniel might say, "I keep replaying a mistake I made last week and worrying about what might happen next month. It's exhausting." To this, Seneca might respond, "Can you rewrite the past?" When Daniel admits he cannot, Seneca might add, "And can you predict the future with certainty?" Again, the answer would be no. Then why burden yourself, Seneca would ask, with things beyond your control? The present is the only time that truly belongs to you. This dialogue underscores a key Stoic principle. Focusing on what is within our control is not just a choice, but a path to peace and purpose. The present moment is where life happens, yet it is often the place we spend the least time. How often do we look back on wasted moments and wish we had been more present? It's a common regret, but one we can address starting now. By practicing mindful breathing or creating a daily control list, we can reclaim our ability to live in the moment. Try these exercises tomorrow and reflect on how they impact your day. What changed for you? Did you feel more connected to your life as it unfolded? Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." This wisdom applies to living in the present as well. Don't wait for a perfect moment or an ideal condition to start embracing the now. Begin where you are with what you have. Let today be the day you choose to let go of the past and future, focusing instead on the life unfolding right in front of you. What could you do today to honor the present and make the most of it? 3. Building resilience through voluntary discomfort. Building resilience is not merely about enduring life's challenges, but actively seeking discomfort to strengthen our mental and emotional muscles. This might seem counterintuitive in a world that celebrates convenience and comfort, yet the Stoics understood that voluntary discomfort is a vital tool for personal growth. Take, for instance, the story of Emily, a professional in a bustling city who chose to embrace minimalism. Emily decided to live with fewer possessions, simplify her routine, and even forego certain modern conveniences. Initially, she faced resistance, not just from others questioning her choices, but also from within herself. The lack of material comforts was uncomfortable, even unsettling. Yet, over time, Emily discovered that this intentional discomfort transformed her perspective. She began to value relationships over possessions, experiences over things, and inner strength over external validation. What can we learn from Emily's journey? The Stoic philosophy offers profound insights into the value of embracing challenges. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This principle encapsulates the Stoic belief that obstacles are not roadblocks, but stepping stones. Challenges, when approached with the right mindset, become opportunities for growth. They test our character, refine our resilience, and deepen our understanding of ourselves. Consider this. How often do we avoid discomfort in the name of convenience? How many growth opportunities do we miss by staying within our comfort zones? Reflecting on this can be a powerful first step toward change. The next step is to embrace challenges actively, seeking voluntary discomfort in manageable, deliberate ways. One practical method is through daily physical exercise. When you push your body through a challenging workout, you're not just building physical strength, you're cultivating mental discipline. A simple routine, such as jogging or strength training, forces you to overcome laziness, fatigue, and self-doubt. Every drop of sweat is a reminder that resilience is built one step at a time. What could you commit to today? A brisk walk during lunch, a short yoga session after work. Another practice is disconnecting from technology for a few hours each day. Our devices often offer instant gratification, but they also tether us to distractions and constant stimuli. By stepping away, turning off your phone, avoiding social media, and spending time in quiet, you create space for reflection and focus. This small act of voluntary discomfort can recalibrate your mind, helping you realize how much of your mental energy is drained by unnecessary distractions. Challenge yourself. Could you dedicate 2 hours tonight to living without technology? What would you do with that time? Imagine this scenario. A man named Victor decides to experiment with Stoic principles by fasting for 24 hours. During the day, he feels the pangs of hunger and is tempted to abandon the fast. Yet, instead of giving in, Victor reflects on his discomfort, realizing how often he eats out of habit rather than necessity. By the end of the fast, he not only gains clarity about his relationship with food, but also experiences a deep sense of accomplishment. Victor's story reminds us that discomfort isn't the enemy, it's a teacher. The Stoics believed that by exposing ourselves to voluntary discomfort, we inoculate our minds against fear and anxiety. Seneca often practiced poverty, living for days on the simplest food and attire. He explained, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself, 'Is this the condition I feared?'" This exercise not only prepared him for potential hardships, but also helped him appreciate his comforts more deeply. If the idea of voluntary discomfort feels daunting, start small. Begin with one change: a cold shower instead of a warm one, waking up earlier to tackle your day, or spending an afternoon without your favorite luxuries. Reflect on how it feels and what you learn about yourself. Did the challenge help you discover inner reserves of strength? Did it shift your perspective on comfort and necessity? Share your experience in the comments and let others learn from your journey. Ultimately, embracing discomfort is about taking control of your growth. It's about flipping the narrative. Instead of viewing challenges as burdens, we see them as gifts. When we lean into discomfort, we expand our capacity for resilience, courage, and adaptability. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, what stands in the way becomes the way. The next time you encounter a challenge, whether self-imposed or unexpected, ask yourself, how can I use this to grow? 4. Forgiveness. Letting go of resentment towards others and ourselves. Forgiveness is often seen as an act of kindness towards others, but the real transformation lies in what it does for ourselves. It's a choice to release resentment, not for the sake of absolving others, but to unshackle our own minds and hearts. Imagine a mother named Clara who faced one of the most challenging moments of her life. Her teenage son made a grave mistake that cost the family their savings. Anger and betrayal consumed her for weeks, threatening to break their bond. But one day, after much reflection, Clara sat her son down and said, "I'm angry at what happened, but I choose to forgive you. Let's learn from this together." Her forgiveness wasn't about denying the hurt. It was about creating a space for healing and growth for both of them. The Stoics deeply understood the transformative power of forgiveness. Epictetus wisely observed, "He who is devoid of resentment will live a serene life." Resentment, as the Stoics believed, is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to suffer. Harboring anger or bitterness keeps us chained to the very moments we long to move past. But what if we could free ourselves by simply letting go? Forgiveness, in the Stoic view, is not a passive act, but a powerful declaration of self-liberation. It is choosing peace over turmoil, strength over victimhood. Think about a time when someone hurt you. Maybe it was a friend who betrayed your trust, or a colleague who took credit for your work. How did carrying that resentment affect you? Did it make you feel justified or drained? Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing the wrong. It means acknowledging the hurt and deciding not to let it control your emotions anymore. Ask yourself, is this grudge helping me grow, or is it keeping me stuck in the past? One of the most profound acts of forgiveness is learning to forgive ourselves. How often do we replay moments of regret, silently berating ourselves for what we could have done differently? Imagine this. A young woman, Sarah, misses an important deadline that costs her team a valuable project. She spirals into self-loathing, convinced she's a failure. But one evening she writes herself a letter. "Dear me," she begins, "you made a mistake, but this does not define you. Take this as a lesson, not a sentence." Sarah doesn't just write those words, she believes them. Over time, she learns to see herself not as someone who failed, but as someone who grew stronger through failure. Forgiveness, whether directed at others or ourselves, can be cultivated through practice. One effective exercise is writing a letter of forgiveness. Choose someone, perhaps even yourself, and express all the emotions you've been holding on to. Be honest, vulnerable, and specific about the pain. Then end the letter with words of release. "I choose to forgive you, not because what happened was okay, but because I value my peace more than my resentment." You don't need to send the letter. The act of writing it can be profoundly cathartic. Another practice is adopting a mantra for self-compassion. Stand in front of a mirror and say, "I forgive myself for my mistakes. I am learning and growing every day." It may feel strange at first, but repetition can help shift your inner dialogue from one of criticism to one of kindness. When was the last time you spoke to yourself with the same compassion you offer to a friend? For those struggling with forgiveness, remember the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. When you wake up each day, remind yourself you will encounter ingratitude, selfishness, and ignorance. These are traits born of misunderstanding. By viewing others' actions through the lens of their struggles and imperfections, we can foster empathy instead of resentment. Forgiveness isn't a one-time event. It's a process. It takes effort, vulnerability, and courage. But the rewards, a lighter heart, a clearer mind, and the freedom to move forward, are well worth it. What step will you take today toward forgiveness? Whether it's writing that letter, speaking kindly to yourself, or simply choosing to let go of one small grudge, every step matters. Share your journey in the comments below. Your story could inspire someone else to take the leap towards peace. As you let go, remember, forgiveness is not about erasing the past. It's about reclaiming your future. 5. The role of gratitude in rewiring the mind. Gratitude, often underestimated, holds the transformative power to reshape our thoughts, redirect our focus, and rewire our minds for positivity. Building on the foundation of recognizing and challenging negative thoughts, gratitude offers a path to reclaim joy and perspective. Imagine a man named Alex, who spent months battling a severe illness. At first, every setback felt like a heavy blow, draining his energy and hope. But one day, his doctor encouraged him to start a gratitude journal. "Find 3 things you're thankful for each day, no matter how small," she suggested. Skeptical but willing to try, Alex began jotting down moments like the warmth of the sun on his face, a kind word from a nurse, or the sound of his favorite song. Over time, he noticed a shift. His days felt lighter, not because the challenges disappeared, but because his focus changed. This shift in focus aligns perfectly with the teachings of the Stoics. Seneca reminds us, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." Gratitude anchors us in the present, where true contentment resides. Instead of longing for what we lack or fearing what's ahead, we find peace in appreciating what we already have. Consider your own life. How often do you pause to truly savor a moment? How much time is spent chasing future goals at the expense of present joys? One of the greatest misconceptions about gratitude is that it requires grand gestures or monumental blessings. The Stoics teach otherwise. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, focused on everyday wonders, the reliability of the sunrise, the intricacy of human connection, the natural order of the world. Gratitude isn't about ignoring hardships, but finding beauty and value within them. Alex, for instance, began to see his illness as an opportunity to connect with others, appreciate life's fragility, and strengthen his resilience. To cultivate gratitude, simple practices can make a significant impact. Start with a daily gratitude journal. Each evening, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be extraordinary. Even a smile from a stranger or the taste of your morning coffee counts. Reflecting on these moments shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Have you ever tried this exercise? What small joys would you include today? Another practice is mindfulness. Dedicate a few moments each day to immerse yourself in the present. Alex, for example, began taking slow walks in the hospital garden. Instead of rushing or worrying, he focused on the colors of the flowers, the breeze on his skin, and the rhythm of his breath. These moments reminded him that, even amidst struggles, life offered beauty. Incorporating gratitude into relationships can also strengthen bonds. Consider this. When was the last time you thanked someone genuinely? A heartfelt thank you can transform a relationship, deepening connections and fostering mutual appreciation. Try this today. Express gratitude to a friend, family member, or colleague, not for something extraordinary, but for their presence in your life. Notice how it feels, for them and for you. For those skeptical of gratitude's impact, the science is compelling. Studies show that practicing gratitude improves mental health, reduces stress, and even boosts physical well-being. Why not experiment with these benefits? Share in the comments below. What's one thing you're grateful for today? Your response might inspire others to reflect on their own blessings. Gratitude doesn't erase challenges. Instead, it reframes them. Imagine a short conversation between Alex and his nurse during his recovery. Nurse: "You seem different, Alex. What changed?" Alex: "Nothing outside, but I've started noticing what's good, even in small things. It helps me get through the tough moments." Nurse: "That's powerful. Gratitude doesn't change your circumstances, but it changes you." This simple exchange underscores the essence of gratitude. It's not about denying difficulties, but about empowering ourselves to face them with grace. As you reflect on the role of gratitude in your own life, consider this question. What if the key to rewiring your mind lies not in changing your circumstances, but in changing your perspective? Start small, write a gratitude journal, savor the present, and share appreciation with those around you. Take this journey with us and see how gratitude can unlock a profound sense of peace and joy. Share your experiences below. Let's inspire each other to see the extraordinary in the ordinary. 6. Protecting the mind. Limiting exposure to negative influences. As we explore the power of rewiring negative thinking, it's essential to examine a critical factor: the environment we immerse ourselves in. Imagine Sarah, a young professional whose vibrant enthusiasm dimmed after years spent in a toxic social circle. Her friends often indulged in gossip, criticized her ambitions, and dismissed her dreams as unrealistic. Over time, Sarah noticed her confidence waning, her self-doubt growing, and her goals slipping further out of reach. She felt trapped, unsure if the negativity she absorbed daily was her own or merely a reflection of those around her. This scenario raises an important question. Have you ever paused to evaluate how the people and influences in your life shape your mindset? Marcus Aurelius, the renowned Stoic philosopher, reminds us, "Be careful who you allow to influence your thoughts." This wisdom emphasizes the need to protect the sanctity of our minds by filtering the voices we listen to, the environments we inhabit, and the content we consume. When Sarah finally decided to step back and reassess her relationships, she experienced a pivotal shift. One evening, after another draining conversation filled with complaints and cynicism, she confided in her mentor. "Why do I feel so weighed down?" she asked. Her mentor replied, "You carry the burdens of others' negativity because you allow them to be placed on your shoulders." This insight sparked Sarah's journey toward creating boundaries and seeking uplifting connections. A vital aspect of Stoicism is recognizing that while we cannot control others' behaviors, we can control how much influence they have over us. The Stoics taught that the mind is a fortress, one that requires vigilant guarding. When we permit negative influences to penetrate that fortress, we compromise our peace and clarity. But how can we practically protect our minds from negativity? Begin by evaluating the relationships in your life. Ask yourself, do the people you spend time with encourage growth and positivity, or do they drain your energy? You might even journal your interactions for a week, noting how certain conversations make you feel. This reflective practice can uncover patterns you may not have noticed before. Once you identify sources of negativity, the next step is to establish boundaries. Sarah, for instance, chose to distance herself from certain friendships gradually, shifting her focus toward new connections aligned with her values. She joined a local community group dedicated to personal development and found herself surrounded by individuals who inspired and uplifted her. Over time, this change significantly impacted her mindset, allowing her to rekindle her self-belief and pursue her goals with renewed vigor. Additionally, consider the digital content you consume. In today's hyper-connected world, we are constantly exposed to news, social media, and entertainment that can subtly seep into our psyche. Ask yourself, does this content leave me feeling empowered or depleted? Replace scrolling through divisive feeds with reading motivational books or listening to thought-provoking podcasts. Marcus Aurelius might agree that curating your digital diet is as vital as curating your social circle. To reinforce this practice, engage in a simple exercise. Create a positivity inventory. Each evening, jot down one interaction, piece of content or activity that left you feeling inspired. Over time, this habit will guide you toward surrounding yourself with constructive influences. The Stoic principle of self-mastery lies at the heart of this journey. As Epictetus wisely said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." By limiting exposure to negative influences, you reclaim the authority over your inner world. Imagine how your life could transform if you consciously chose environments and relationships that nurture your potential instead of stifling it. Let me ask you this: who in your life makes you feel capable of achieving your dreams? What steps can you take today to align your surroundings with your aspirations? Share your reflections in the comments below. Your journey could inspire others to protect their own peace. By safeguarding our minds against negativity, we cultivate the space for positivity, resilience, and growth to flourish. Like Sarah, you too can transform your life by making thoughtful choices about what you allow into your mental fortress. Remember, this is not just about avoiding negativity, but actively creating an environment where optimism and strength can thrive. Take the first step today and watch your inner world bloom. 7. Practical Stoic exercises for daily mindset shifts. Building on the idea of protecting our minds from negativity, it's equally important to actively cultivate a positive, resilient mindset. Imagine your mind as a garden. Once you've cleared the weeds of negativity, how do you plant and nurture seeds of growth? The answer lies in daily Stoic exercises, simple yet transformative practices that can shift your perspective and help you navigate life with clarity and purpose. Take, for example, the Stoic exercise of Memento Mori, a reflective meditation on mortality. At first glance, it might sound unsettling to dwell on death, but this practice offers profound clarity. Consider Daniel, a busy entrepreneur overwhelmed by endless tasks and deadlines. One evening, as he sat at his desk feeling defeated, he read these words from Marcus Aurelius: "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Inspired, he decided to try Memento Mori. Each morning, Daniel began visualizing his day as if it were his last. This wasn't about fear, but about focusing on what truly mattered. He found himself prioritizing meaningful work, spending quality time with loved ones, and letting go of trivial frustrations. Does this idea resonate with you? What would you do differently if you approached today as if it were your last? Share your thoughts in the comments. It might spark a shift, not just for you, but for others reading this. Another powerful Stoic exercise is to focus on actionable positivity. Instead of being weighed down by what's out of your control, ask yourself, what is one positive action I can take today? For example, Sarah, a teacher feeling overwhelmed by her workload, started this practice by identifying small, achievable actions each morning. One day, it was writing a heartfelt note to a colleague. Another, it was spending 10 minutes organizing her desk. These actions, though minor, created a ripple effect of positivity in her day. What's one positive action you can take today? Try this exercise for a week and see how it transforms your mindset. Maintaining these practices requires consistency, and the key lies in starting small. Seneca reminds us, well-being is attained by little and little, and nevertheless is no little thing itself. Instead of committing to hours of meditation or extensive journaling, begin with a 5-minute daily ritual. For instance, take 5 minutes each evening to write down 3 things you're grateful for, or reflect on one challenge you faced and how you responded. These micro-commitments are manageable and build momentum over time. To sustain these habits, track your progress through a journal. Recording your reflections helps you stay accountable and offers a tangible reminder of your growth. Think of Emily, who used a simple notebook to jot down her daily exercises. Over weeks, she noticed patterns. She was less reactive to challenges and more present in her relationships. Looking back at her journal filled her with a sense of accomplishment and motivation to continue. What's stopping you from starting your own journal today? Even a single line each day can pave the way for profound insights. Another essential aspect of maintaining Stoic exercises is embracing imperfection. Life gets busy, and some days you might miss your practice. That's okay. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." Instead of dwelling on missed days, focus on the opportunity each new day brings to begin again. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. Finally, consider integrating these exercises into your routine with prompts that naturally fit your day. Perhaps you reflect on memento mori while sipping your morning coffee or practice gratitude journaling before bed. These seamless integrations make it easier to stick to your habits and ensure they become an integral part of your life. Let me pose a question. What's one Stoic exercise you'd like to try this week, and how will you make it a part of your daily routine? Share your ideas below. You might inspire someone else to start their journey. By incorporating daily Stoic practices, you'll begin to notice subtle but powerful shifts in your perspective. Over time, these small intentional steps create a foundation of resilience, clarity, and inner peace. The beauty of Stoicism is its practicality. These exercises aren't confined to philosophy books, but are meant to be lived. So why not take the first step today? Pick an exercise, commit to it, and watch how your mindset transforms day by day. The garden of your mind is ready. Start planting the seeds of growth and see what blooms. As we come to the end of this journey through Stoic philosophy, let's take a moment to reflect on the central lesson. While we cannot control everything that happens in life, we have the power to control how we respond. In the words of Epictetus, "Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually will." This shift in mindset is the key to a more peaceful, resilient, and fulfilling life. Now, it's your turn to take action. Choose one practice from today's discussion, whether it's gratitude journaling, reflecting on memento mori, or re-evaluating your environment, and commit to it. Start small. Consistency matters more than perfection. By taking one step at a time, you'll begin to see how Stoic principles can reshape not only your thinking, but your entire way of living. We'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments. How will you begin rewiring your mindset? Your story might just inspire someone else to take their first step. Let's create a community where we support and motivate each other to grow. If this message resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. By doing so, you're not just helping the channel grow, but also spreading the transformative wisdom of Stoicism to those who might need it most. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss future insights and actionable advice. As you close this video, I'll leave you with this challenge. What would your life look like if you truly mastered the art of controlling your thoughts? Reflect on this, take action, and let Stoicism guide you toward a more meaningful existence. Thank you for watching, and until next time, live fully, live wisely.